What's something people don't know about the flickering light of a carved pumpkin haunting the darkened doorsteps of homes each October? Known as the Jack-o'-lantern, this tradition has its origins in a centuries-old tale from the misty hills of Ireland. The story, one of treachery, cleverness and eternal punishment, revolves around a man named Stingy Jack, whose cunning ways led him to outwit even the devil himself, at least for a while. I bet you didn't know the tale of Stingy Jack, a man who lived long ago in a small Irish village surrounded by rolling green hills and thick forests. Known for his greed, deceit and love of alcohol, Jack earned his nickname Stingy because of his unwillingness to part with a single coin. He was infamous for cheating friends and strangers alike, always scheming for a way to drink for free or trick others out of their money. His reputation was so widespread that whispers of his tricks reached the ears of the devil. One chilly October night, as Jack stumbled home from a tavern, his path illuminated only by the silver glow of the moon, he encountered a shadowy figure standing under an ancient oak tree. The figure, with eyes burning like embers and a smile as sharp as broken glass, was none other than the devil himself. I'm sure you've heard the news. The devil had come to claim Jack's soul, for a life of sin must inevitably lead to eternal damnation. Yet Jack was not one to be easily fooled. Realizing that his time was running out, he quickly devised a cunning plan. He looked at the devil with a sly grin and proposed a deal. "Before you take me to the fiery depths below," Jack said, "why not join me for one last drink?" Amused by Jack's audacity, the devil agreed. Together they walked to the nearest tavern, and Jack drank glass after glass of whiskey, laughing and reveling in his final moments. When it was time to pay, Jack turned to the devil with a crafty smirk and said, "Since you have the power to transform into anything, why not change into a coin to pay the bill? Then, once we've left, you can change back." The devil, eager to see how far Jack's trickery would go, transformed into a silver coin and landed in Jack's hand. But Jack, quick as lightning, slipped the coin into his pocket, where he also carried a small crucifix. The presence of the holy symbol trapped the devil in his coin form, leaving him powerless. I will never underestimate the power of a cunning mind after learning this. As the devil squirmed and cursed within Jack's pocket, the cunning man proposed another deal. He agreed to release the devil under one condition: that his soul would not be taken for 10 more years. Trapped and without a choice, the devil reluctantly agreed. Jack released the coin and the devil vanished into the night, his anger echoing through the trees. For the next decade, Jack continued his life of trickery, greed and indulgence, believing he had bested even the devil. Everybody is looking for the truth behind Jack-o'-lantern's second encounter with the devil. 10 years passed, and true to his word, the devil returned. This time he found Jack wandering alone in the woods, the air thick with the scent of rotting leaves and the chill of an approaching storm. The devil, more prepared now, did not intend to fall for another of Jack's tricks. But Jack, as wily as ever, was ready with a new plan. Seeing that his end was near, Jack pretended to accept his fate. He bowed his head and said, "Very well, but before I go, could you fetch me an apple from that tree as a final meal?" The devil, suspicious but curious, agreed. As he climbed the tree, Jack hurriedly carved a cross into the tree's bark, trapping the devil in its branches. Once again, Jack had managed to outsmart the devil. This time, Jack demanded a more permanent arrangement, that his soul would never be taken to hell. The devil, furious and humiliated, agreed to the terms. With the pact sealed, Jack removed the cross, and the devil descended, disappearing into the shadows for what he thought would be the last time. What's something people don't know about the end of Stingy Jack's life? Years passed, and Stingy Jack grew old. His tricks no longer amused the villagers, and his health deteriorated. One cold, stormy night, Jack finally died, but when his soul prepared to ascend to heaven, the gates closed before him. Jack's lifetime of sin had left a stain too dark for heaven's light. Left with no other choice, Jack turned to the gates of hell, hoping to at least find refuge there. But the devil, true to his word, refused him entry. "You will wander forever, Jack," the devil sneered. "You made your choice." Desperate and alone, Jack begged for some light to guide his path through the darkness. The devil, amused by Jack's plight, tossed him a single burning coal from the fires of hell. Jack carved out a turnip he had with him, placing the coal inside to create a makeshift lantern. And so Jack was cursed to roam the earth for eternity, his ghostly figure illuminated only by the dim light of his turnip lantern. You need to hear this if you're a fan of ghost stories. The tale of Stingy Jack and his ghostly lantern spread throughout Ireland. To ward off Jack's wandering spirit and other evil entities, people began carving their own faces into turnips and placing them by their doors, their glowing eyes and grimaces meant to scare away any spirits that might roam the night. When Irish immigrants brought the legend to America, they discovered the pumpkin, a fruit larger and easier to carve than a turnip. Pumpkins became the new vessel for the jack-o'-lantern, and the tradition grew into the Halloween custom we know today. This is going to blow your mind. As time passed, the legend of jack-o'-lantern evolved. In some regions, the story changed slightly. Jack became a figure of caution for those who led greedy or deceitful lives. Parents would tell their children about Jack, warning them that if they misbehaved, they might end up like him, forever wandering in darkness, holding a flickering light. The transition from turnips to pumpkins also carried new symbolism. Pumpkins, harvested during the fall, symbolized the changing of seasons and the thinning of the veil between the living and the dead. As Halloween became a more celebrated holiday, the jack-o'-lantern became a staple decoration, transforming from a protective charm to an iconic symbol of the spooky season. Am I the only one that didn't know the jack-o'-lantern has so many different faces? Across different cultures and regions, the jack-o'-lantern took on new meanings and designs. In some places, people carved their lanterns with frightening faces to ward off evil spirits like Stingy Jack, while others chose friendlier expressions, welcoming the spirits of ancestors and loved ones back to visit. Legends also suggested that each face carved into a pumpkin carried its own power depending on the carver's intention. A smile might invite good fortune, while a scowl could drive away misfortune. As the tradition spread, families would gather to carve pumpkins together, passing down the story of Stingy Jack with each new generation. This is going to blow your mind. Even today, as people carve their pumpkins and light them on Halloween night, the story of Stingy Jack lingers. Some say that on particularly dark nights you might catch a glimpse of him wandering the roads, his lantern flickering in the distance. Others claim that the jack-o'-lanterns placed outside homes continue to protect against his restless spirit, ensuring he never finds a place to rest. The legend of jack-o'-lantern remains a reminder of the power of cunning and the consequences of greed. It is a story that connects the past with the present, merging ancient beliefs with modern traditions and keeping alive the spirit of a man who outwitted the devil but could not escape his fate. So next time you carve a pumpkin and light its face, remember the tale of Stingy Jack. Somewhere out there, beyond the shadows, he wanders still, an eternal figure caught between worlds, guided only by the faint glow of his lantern.